Welcome to the bold analysis. I have come back to do a follow-up analysis about an analysis that I did yesterday. I did analysis yesterday and explained that amount of money collected through the eCitizen platform did not correlate with the money in the accounts related to the eCitizen. And this was largely because, according to a report, is that there could be some dubious deals that instead of using the 222 pay bill that was launched by William Ruto, some money was being diverted to individual accounts. And yesterday, the Treasury raised a red alert that government is losing millions to people that are actually behind that syndicate. And true to that word, and immediately that came out, today the President William Ruto summoned some heads of parastatals about it. And those heads of parastatals included KRA, Huduma Center. There were also other state agencies like Kenyatta National Hospital. And now I can say, remember when I told you yesterday about a hospital when I went and they got another pay bill that is not the 222, you can bear me witness. That was Kenyatta mortuary. And I remember that was the time, it doesn't change anything. That was the time I went to view the body of Sarah. Yes. I didn't want to bring it up, but because now it's in public, why not? 17 CEOs were summoned today. And these 17 CEOs were given letters of explain why that had happened. Some of the institutions, including NHIF, Higher Education Loans Board, Hustler Fund, Agricultural Finance Corporations, KNH, Kenya Bureau of Standards, NCBA, Kenya Ports Authority, and quite a number of others. So all those CEOs were actually met the president. Now, as the government was still grappling with how the money is getting lost from the eCitizen, just now there is a breaking news they've just released. There is a circular they've just released. Now increasing to replace your ID card. If you lose your ID, if you want to replace your ID, the fee has been hiked from 100 to 2,000. Lakini tuko na mchezo sana. What is the intention? 100 to 2,000 to replace an ID. Let me show you the charges. According to a Gazette notice that was released, it proposed the fee for persons acquiring an ID. For the first time, you will pay 1,000. Someone may need to use diagrams to explain to me why I must pay that much for the national ID. Maybe someone need to explain. The government also introduced new hiked levies on obtaining birth certificates from 50 to 200. I may not be shocked if this also hits 2,000. Kenyans seeking to change the details of their ID card will be forced to part ways with 1,000, while those seeking identification reports will pay 1,000 up from 300. Meanwhile, the government has also increased fees charged on obtaining civil servants cards from 100 to 1,000. Well, those in need of staff badges will have to pay 1,000 from 350. ID, 1,000 to replace, 2,000 to replace, 1,000 to get it first time. Birth certificate from 50 bob to 200. Who is this targeting, ladies and gentlemen? You know, hey, I'm telling you, sometimes you may not even want to. And I know the sole purpose is to increase the revenue stream. So does it mean that after centralizing payment through the 22222 pay bill, we've still not met our objectives and we've gone further to now increase the amount for getting this ID? I want to explain this because as we speak, there is a rollout of Huduma number. Is it Maisha number? That is supposed to be rolled out in the near future. Maisha number, I don't know if you need an ID for Maisha number, you need Maisha number, then you don't need an ID. It's something that we might come to understand. At this point, what about the police abstract? But just as we speak about corruption, I want to look at it this way. Number one, who are people that are going for the IDs for the first time? Most of the ID first timers are in mostly secondary school. Maybe they are finishing. I remember I got my ID when I was in third year in Nairobi secondary school. That is the first group. The second group are those who have completed and wants to join university. So they are going for that ID to apply for the loans, the HELB loan. There's the loans, the public loans that they are given. That is the new cohort. That is the batch that goes for ID. And truth be told, that question number one. So you realize that group is going to be affected. Then the first question. The second question here is, if the ID uptake when the cost is 100 is low, what will be the impact if from 100 to 2,000 in the village setup, in the extreme counties like Turkana, the far end of Kilifi, and the far end of Marsabit, will people get 2,000 to acquire IDs? You know, it's a legitimate point that, do we want to give all Kenyans IDs? The answer is no. And when you increase it, there is an effect of low uptake. People may not now apply for IDs because of that money, except that one group. Secondly, as things go now, national ID is one of the requirements. And when you're seeking any job opportunity in this country, yes, the jobs are low, down. But without an ID, you cannot even get to an Mjengo set. You cannot even get these other security jobs. So when someone will lose an ID, how are they going to make it up? Ladies and gentlemen, I think Kenya Kwanza is overstretching it, because just the other day there was information that despite of us increasing the levies, why are we not still receiving our revenue stream? And I know very well that government is in a corner. You know, William Ruto blamed Uhuru Kenyatta that Uhuru Kenyatta was working like a bandage, you know, like economy was in a bandage. But what we are doing now, is it even helping? Because I kept on asking, we cannot take taxes from the people, but at the same time we are withdrawing services. With that huge costs of getting these new IDs and the IDs, people will actually shy away from going for the IDs. People will shy away. And I want to look at the repercussion on this. I know very well that maybe we are pressed, as a government is a bit pressed, and is looking for avenues of raising money, you know, to pay the debts and cover this and that. But what is the effect if people cannot take the IDs? So there is something that I see here. William Ruto and this move could have been hatched, could have an intelligence input. Why? Where they want to ensure, government wants to ensure that they reduce the number of new voters in the register. Yes. Yes. If indeed someone will have to pay 1,000 for the national ID, then I'm very sure that almost the number is going to reduce, because quite a number of people will not be able to get it. If that is the cost, 1,000 to get the national ID, then new ID takers is going to reduce. And when that reduces, we'll have less voters. And why do you think that is needed? That is needed because William Ruto understands that the government is already facing hostility. And the more you have first-time voters, the more you are not most likely going to take it, because the people voting for the first time are actually yearning for the change. That is my intelligence look into this, that we don't want people to acquire the IDs, we don't want to get the new fellows to get the IDs. The second interpretation of this hike is we want to reduce the number of hustlers viable for the jobs, even in those affordable housing. Let's say this. Let's be very logic. You have taken housing levy, some percentage, to build houses. And those houses are supposed to be built so that Kenyans can get some jobs there, the casual workers and laborers there. For you to work in a Mjengo site, the minimum you need, apart from being in good health, is a national ID. And today you lose an ID, you don't have a job. For you to get a new ID, you need to part with the 2,000. There are people that will miss on jobs simply because of that 2,000. Simply because of that 2,000. So at the end of the day, have you given people jobs? No. Even security jobs, even these other casual jobs, you need to have an ID. Applying. Look at applying for government jobs. Quite a number of people have been lining up. Wherever an opening is called, queues are long, people eyeing for those opportunities. But without this, they cannot get it. Lastly, William Samoei Ruto government is in total crisis. And I think he's releasing every arsenal to ensure that it gets out of the hole. It is in a cash crisis. So many things are not working. The oil deal, government-to-government deal, oil deal from Dubai is collapsing, and Uganda is almost withdrawing its market from the G2G deal. We are supposed to pay our Eurobond, and there was financial institutions that said we are almost into the negative listing. These are desperate measures, and it's true, we are in a crisis. Something have bothered me. Have you guys realized that exam cheating is back like never before? This is something that CS Matiang'i controlled in 2015, and it was a thing of the past. Now I was just reading, exam cheating is back, and it's wreaking its ugly face on Kenyans. DCI arrests 5 teachers from a school in Migori over irregularities during the KCSE examinations. And the school has also been closed in Kisii and principal suspended over exam malpractices. You know why? People are broke. So people are using every opportunity around to make money. I go there.